Alrighty, hey YouTube, this is JV here. I am back. I have recovered well from my surgery, so back in business. But today I'm gonna be doing a series of reviews over my next few videos. But today's review and video is going to be about my Baja MB200 mini bike. I bought this several years ago. I've had it for about 4 or 5 years. The guy who had it before me had it for about 4 or 5 years, so I mean, you know, it's about 8 years old. I think it's like a 2006 or 2008 model. I know it's an older model because the gas tank cap is right under this thing. The newer model ones have it right here. So, but I've had the thing, you know, everything I'm gonna tell you is from experience. You know, it's not like I just got it, but overall, it's been a great, reliable mini bike. The engine is one of the best engines I've ever seen. It's the 6.5 horsepower Hensim. I'll show you that this is not the original pull start, but I've had no problems with the motor. I mean, I've had to change a spark plug once, but I mean, that's, you know, understandable. But no problems with the carburetor, nothing. I mean, I think it's like a Chinese motor, but there's a rule with Chinese motors. Either really good or really bad. And this is a really good one. It's reliable. It's good power to it. You know, I've never, like I said, sorry for the inconsistency, but like I said, I've never really had to do anything to it. Has really good fuel efficiency. Has a fuel filter on the tank. I don't know if that's really important, but the only problems I've ever had with the with this is all not from the engine, not from anything else. 90% of the 95% of the problems have been with the drivetrain, the jack shaft. This goes with a jack shaft. It has like a 10-tooth centrifugal clutch that goes back to a 22 sprocket. Then on that same shaft behind it, there's a 10-tooth, and that goes back to this sprocket back here. All my problems have been with this. I'm gonna take you back here. Well, first of all, first I had the spring tensioner problems. Then I got that fixed. Then where the 22-tooth and 10-tooth sprocket were, the shaft, the square key slot got stripped out, so then it would basically slip and wouldn't do anything. But since I have not gotten a torque converter yet, what I did here, put the clutch on backwards. The heck is a wasp? Put a 10-tooth sprocket. I took my sprocket, flipped around backwards, basically connected the two chains. There was one master link, and there's another one on there somewhere. Which I had a master link break one time, but you can just go to a lot of local places and get those. But I had to take a couple links out of the chain. It was a bit too big. I don't have a spring tensioner in there. Basically, I can, you know, adjust that to get right tension on it. It falls off every so often. I mean, not like frequently, but I mean, you know, it'll fall off just like a normal chain would. But you just tighten it back up. But had to custom make some new mounting brackets. And one thing that was interesting, when this clutch was right, the other way around, this bolt would always want to come loose, but since I flipped it around backwards, it doesn't want to do that. I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh yeah, another thing, I have put a straight pipe exhaust on it. I've kept the original heat shield. But basically, I took this little flange bit right here, this piece right there. It was actually the J-shaped exhaust pipe off of a Snapper rear engine riding mower. I cut this part off. I had to cut a notch out of it right there. This thing focuses really well. I had to cut a notch out of it so it'd fit. Has a good seal though. And I took a 1/2-inch elbow and a 1/2-inch 24-inch length of steel pipe. Basically, I welded it on there. Pathetic welding skills, but it's held. There's threads in there, and then comes back out to here. And I have it going up there for support. It's not putting all that weight on the engine. And one thing I'm gonna go over in a minute when I go inside is I found out that I can add different things on the back of it, screw on different things on the back of this to add different sound effects. And all the holes I have to drill and cans, everything else is a 3/4 inch hole. It threads really good on that. But here, I'm going to take you and I'm going to show some of the old parts, the jack shaft and everything else. I want to do this is going to be a two-part series, or two-part review. We'll be driving it later. But first of all, this was, oh yeah, and I also had the pull cord break one time, but you know, that's not that hard to replace. I just pulled the pull cord out of this broken one. But this is the brand engine, Henson. No clue, but it's a good motor from what I've experienced. This is the original muffler, you know, just standard muffler. Oh, and this thing puts out a lot of carbon. It really does. But it runs fine, so you know I'm not gonna put seafoam or anything through it. You know the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So just gonna leave it alone. Oh, now one thing, when I did do that long chain thing, I couldn't use this guard anymore. I took that out. But this was the old jack shaft. It mounted, you know, you can see where it mounted on the motor right there. That's where the shafts came out. And the clutch went there, and then I had to get a new spring tensioner. Bolts on there, we had to jury rig that. But the spring tensioner, then that's a 10-2 sprocket, and this 22 sprocket, and they go on the same shaft. Like that. But what happened is, it'll focus, the square key shaft got really stripped out, and basically it would slip. And we figured, because I had, you know, some of the welds, supports break off of it, you know, the whole new thing's like $70. We figured it cost that much to have a machinist press out this shaft in here and put a new one in, because I actually have a new shaft. I've had a whole bunch of extra parts that came with this thing. So, and then one more thing, I did have the throttle, the handle brake, the inner little plastic piece, but that was no problem at all to replace. Right in here broke, but I got like a new thing for $13 on Amazon. The cable wasn't long enough, but I used the existing cable in the housing. It's just this plastic piece in here, but got to work pretty good. Yeah, headlight, nothing special. Headlight's actually pretty bright. It's got nice tires on it. Back tires are more worn out because whenever you do this modification, it basically loses almost all its low end, so I can't go back out riding on my trail anymore. Oh, and there was a fender here. There was a fender, but it broke off, and I tried welding it back on, and well, I guess the vibration just welded it, made it fall back off. So, but I mean, I guess that's not. Oh yeah, these are some of the cans I do. I mean, you take a normal size can, you can't use a can opener on the top and drill a 3/4 hole in the bottom. That adds a really loud effect. You can do something like just keep that. That's kind of muffler effect, or you can do something like that. This bottle doesn't add a whole. These aluminum Coke bottles, these don't add a whole bunch of sound, but when it backfires, it is loud. And these cans right here, the little ones, they add more of a higher pitch sound, and they last a little bit longer. Now, an interesting fact, these ones right here tend to, the pressure, I guess, in them, like these cans, over time, these little ones last longer, but see, they'll start to tear holes in them. And these ones will, like, formed almost like this octagon shape, or like, no, hexagon shape, and then just break in half. But, as you can see, I have a ton of them. But, yeah, hopefully I'll get up part 2 either today or tomorrow with me driving it and the exhaust pipe sounds and everything else. But, well, rate, comment, subscribe, etc. Take care.